Hello, hello. What's up? What's up, everybody? Finally made it. Yeah, I know we're a little late, going through a few technical difficulties, but still, we right on time. Well, what's going on this week? The college football season is finally over. Yeah, UGA wasn't nowhere involved though. We got a lot of players changing teams. We got a lot of coaches changing teams. A lot of teams looking different than they were at the beginning of the week. We got a lot to talk about, and this COVID-19 is still trying to affect sports all over America. And guess what? Even the Falcons, they looking different now. So we got a lot to talk about. We're a little late, so I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to talk sports. Hope my other two guys are ready. Red, Rev, Coach, episode 172. Let's make it do.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red Rev Sports Show. Red and Coach are coming to you live from the ATL show. Giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans who are real sports athletes who have what? Real sports knowledge. So hang out with your boys, Red, Rev, and Coach for episode 172. And as is our custom, we're going to turn our numbers' attention to our numerologist, Coach Patrick Thomas. What you got for us, Coach, for 172?
Well. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. For 172, it's going to be very simple. We're going to go to the only year in NFL history, 1972, that we had an undefeated team, which was the 1972 Miami Dolphins, who ran the table big time, had all those stars with them, and they finished undefeated and won the Super Bowl. So 1972 was the year of the only undefeated team, the Miami Dolphins.
All right. Coach was the only one alive during that time. Yeah. But indeed, we thank you for that 1972 reference of the Miami Dolphins, the same team that looks at every season waiting for every team to lose so that they could pop their bottles to be able to enjoy being the only team in NFL history with the distinction of going undefeated, not only in the regular season, but for the entire season, inclusive of the playoffs. So thank you so much, Coach, for that reference, and hope you guys are doing well in the ATL. I'm still hanging out in Huntsville, Alabama. I'll be heading back to the ATL on tomorrow. I had the distinction of being the MLK Day speaker for the Greater Huntsville Interdenominational Ministers Fellowship on last night. Had a great experience. So I want to give a big shout out to Pastor Larry Davidson, who watches our show from time to time, who is the president of the Interdenominational Fellowship that invited me to preach here in Huntsville. So thank you, Pastor Davidson. Thank you all to the Huntsvillians who may be watching, and looking forward to having a great show today. Let's see who's tuning in. Let's see. Good morning to you, Miss Harris, and to you, Joe Black, and to you, Shelby. Y'all still on? What's up to you, Brother Russian? And our residential comedian has made it. 45 is undefeated in impeachments. He's already ready. He's already ready and in rare form. We apologize for the delay. My Wi-Fi here in the hotel was acting up a little bit, but it seems like it wants to act right. So y'all send up a prayer for the Wi-Fi so they'll be strong so that we can have a strong show. All right, my brothers, let's get ready to Red and Rev, do some Red and Rev Sports Show business. And as we normally do it, let's roll with our dope, nope, and cope moments for this week. All right. Let's go, Coach. What you got for us, man? What you doping on?
Well, I'm doping on the young man. I gotta remember his name, and I'm trying. I think it's. Let me find it real quick. Shouldn't take long. Jared Veld here. Jared Veld here is going to have the distinction of being the first man to play in the wild card game, lose, but advance, because he's been signed by the Green Bay Packers since the injury to their line. So he lost playing for the Indianapolis Colts, and he got dropped, and the Green Bay Packers now picked him up. So he got a chance to actually keep playing. So dope moment goes to Jared Veld here.
Wow.
Winning.
All right. That's winning for sure, man. Okay, lose and win. All right. Red, what are you doping on?
I think this might be historic. I'm doping on one LeBron James and his no-look 3-point shot to Dennis Schroeder at the same time while making a $100 bet with him. I mean, whoop, turn around, bet, swish, run down the court. Woo! Showtime, baby. Showtime is back in LA. I loved it, LeBron, because for a minute, I didn't understand why he was running like that. I didn't even think folks were saying that he made a bet, but I didn't believe it till he actually admitted, yeah, I said bet while he turned around to take that shot, turn, bet, swish, run. Woo! What? I bet King Kobe was up in heaven just loving that, man. Good stuff, LeBron. Good stuff. That was dope.
All right.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
All right. I never thought I would associate this name and dope for my section of this segment of the show, but I'm doping on one Bill Belichick. Declines to take Medal of Freedom offer from the insurrectionist in chief, liar in chief, who will no longer be the commander in chief come January 20th at noon. Bill Belichick, great job. That was bad for your business if you accepted that Medal of Freedom. So I appreciate him not demeaning the award, because there was nothing that he did that caused him to deserve a Medal of Freedom. So big ups to one Bill Belichick declining a Medal of Freedom.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, Red, what are you noping on, sir?
I'm noping on one Cleat Keller. Anybody know who Cleat Keller is?
Nah.
Okay. I'm so glad. Well, allow me to tell you who Cleat Keller is. Cleat Keller was arrested and charged in the riots from last week, from the Capitol Chaos. Cleat Keller is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist for swimming in his country.
Wow.
Now, allow me to tell you how Cleat Keller was caught and apprehended. Cleat Keller decided to go down to the Capitol and cause lots of chaos, and in addition to that, wore his Team Olympic USA jacket. Wow, way to go, Cleat. Not only that, Cleat does not really blend in with the crowd. Cleat stands a whopping 6'6". So you got a 6'6" Olympic gold medalist wearing his Team USA jacket, trying to cause chaos down at the U.S. Capitol. Can we say dummy, ignorant dummy of the week? You get a big nope, Cleat Keller. I hope they strip you all your Olympic medals. I hope you charge. I hope you jailed. I hope you go away for good. Cleat Keller. Nope, you big dummy. Nope.
No! No! No!
Yeah, he gets a triple nope. That's dumb. I guess he thought he was being a patriot. All right, I'm noping on one Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets. And the reason why I'm noping is because they said through the James Harden deal that we'll talk about in just a moment, nope, Kyrie Irving cannot be Kevin Durant's Robin. So we got to make him the third musketeer because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will not win a championship. So I'm noping on Kyrie Irving not being Kevin Durant's Robin because of the trade for James Harden.
Is he even a Alfred the Butler now? The way
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that somebody with that meme. I think that was you, matter of fact. Yeah. Coach, what are you noping on, man?
Well, my nope is a sad note, and it goes to one Josh Gordon. I don't know what's going on or who's behind him or who's enabling him or who's not helping him or who's trying to help him. But Josh Gordon has once again been indefinitely suspended from the NFL because his life can't get right. And it's not just dealing with football anymore. It's his life. Whatever the drugs that he's taken or have taken or whatever have taken over his life. And it's unfortunate that he won't get to play again. And I don't know if he has more chance than Steve Howe, but I don't know if he's going to get to play again. I think this might be the end of should have been a great career, but now it's looking like what could have been. So my nope, unfortunately, goes to Josh Gordon.
Man, Coach, you might have should have saved that for Coach because you really have saddened this segment.
I know.
That was really a Coach moment right there, brother.
No, the Coach moment is different.
I know it may be different, but that was a very strong Coach moment that you just brought forth, especially with your tone. You almost bring folk to tears, man. So that was definitely a Coach moment. Man, I mean, you done stolen the segment, man. I can't think of anything about Coach that deeper than that Coach moment right there. It's on me. I'm coping on the fact that the Atlanta Falcons probably reached on their head coaching search, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. They could have probably brought back Raheem Morris for all the decision that they made, but nevertheless, I'm coping on the fact that probably within the next 2 to 3 years, we'll probably be talking about getting another coach, or we'll be raising Cain about why we haven't gotten another coach. So Falcons fans, this is why I'm coping on that. Oh, man. All right, Coach, give us the stronger coat.
Well, it might not be a stronger, but my coat moment goes to the Washington Wizards, who, looking at what's going on there, may not have a season to go through because over half the team has been either stricken with the virus or in contact with someone with the virus. Therefore, they can't play a game. Every time they come up, game canceled because of the COVID. So I have no idea when they're going to come out of that because, they got to go through those quarantines. But the Washington Wizards may have to cope with not having a season because of the COVID virus, unfortunately.
Yeah, their season is definitely crashing down. No doubt about it. Red, what are you coping on?
I'm coping on one Eric Bieniemy. I mean, what does this brother have to do to get a head coaching job in the NFL? I mean, he's never been at the highest. I mean, when is he going? He can't get no higher than being the offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champion. I mean, what is he gonna have to do? Get a lesser job and get a coaching hire? If this dude can't get hired now, then I'm sorry, Eric Bieniemy. You might have to give it up soon because I just don't see how you can get hired if you can't get hired from the status that you are now, offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl winning champion, quarterbacks coach of the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, where do you go from here? So if you can't get a job right now, I guess what the NFL is telling you, Eric Bieniemy, you have to cope with. You're just not head coaching material. And we all may have to cope with that eventually because it's just really no inexplicable reason that this guy is not being hired within the past 2 seasons. And
All
we
right.
all know if his skin was a little bit lighter than mine, then we all know he would have had a job last season. Definitely. The NFL is trying to tell Eric Bieniemy something, and we all have to cope until we find out what that something is. But I think we all know what it is.
All right, Red, you've had some extended takes on Dope, Nope, and Coke this week. All right, man. But yeah,
We didn't have it last week, so
yeah, I see you making up for lost time from last week. I see. Okay,
But
yeah, but definitely that is something. That's a good take though on Eric Bieniemy. You about to say something?
You know he can't be touched. You know he can't be touched right now.
Well, I guess we can make a quick segue before we go into the fans, Dope, Nope, and Coke. What jobs are still left?
Chargers, Texans, Lions.
So then maybe, just maybe, he might get one of those jobs because he can't be hot. He can't be hot.
Coach, I think the Lions job may have got filled. I think, Coach.
I'm finna put it out there right now. Eric Bieniemy will be the next coach of the Houston Texans. I'm putting it out there right now.
Is Deshaun Watson gonna be there?
I don't know about that, but
well, that might be the thing that may come.
Yeah,
hire Eric Bieniemy because the fact is, even though Deshaun Watson is not Patrick Mahomes, he's a Patrick Mahomes type player because of how he can move in the pocket, and also he's a pretty good thrower of the ball. So that might be the hire for the Houston Texans to keep Deshaun Watson calm, cool, and collective in this season. So we'll see. We'll see.
Thank you.
Deshaun Watson said he got a 10. He is mad. I mean, he said last week he was at a 2. He said this week he had a 10. So
mad. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
Joe Black, he reminded us that the Eagles need a coach too. I forgot about the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles ain't hiring Eric Bieniemy. Trust me, they ain't hiring him.
They'll hire Deuce.
But Deshaun Watson can be at 10 all he wants to, but he signed that big old lucrative contract, so he really can't say much besides who he gets traded to, because he has a no trade clause and they have to consult him if they want him to be traded. But because he signed that big old deal, he can't really say too much right now.
Well, it's gonna be if they say if Deshaun Watson says I want out and the Houston Texans make him available, it's gonna be plenty. It's gonna be at least a handful, maybe more than that will take on that contract just to have him on the team.
Well, no, I'm not arguing who wants him. That's not the argument. I think every team that doesn't have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, other teams that got those top-notch quarterbacks, Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, yeah, they'd be a fool not to want Deshaun Watson. What I'm saying is because of the lucrative contract that he signed, the Texans are not going to just give him what he wants, because he's locked in to Houston for at least the next 3 to 4 years. So therefore, he might just have to be mad and play mad football while he's mad. Because he doesn't have that type of leeway to demand what he wants to demand. Like the football careers are not as long as basketball careers, so they can't mess around and try to sit out seasons and so forth and so on. This not the NBA. The NFL is a different monster. Let's get to the fans real quick and their comments. Let's see what they had to say. Shelby's doping on congratulations, Alabama. Thank you for winning. So we don't have to listen to conversations about where would you, JP, Now, that's one of the few times that I think Shelby will be doping on Alabama, another SEC school outside of Georgia. But I understand the context. And if Kirby Smart, I'm sure, is happy he doesn't have to deal with those conversations as well. Joe Black doping on the wide receiver from Alabama, over 200 in the first half. Devonte Smith was that dude. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Shelby's coping almost 1 year since the death of Kobe Bryant. Vanessa Bryant has asked people not to post pictures of the scene. Yeah. And Shanique saying the Sorlus in chief. That's a good one as well. Thomas, he made short sleeve hoodies fashionable. Bill Belichick did do that, no doubt about it. Joe Black, no possibility of the Bears passing game coordinator being the Falcons OC. Sister Harris, dope, the black Capitol Hill policeman whose athleticism enabled him to carry the mob away from the VP and the Senate. I like the way she made that a sports take by putting in athleticism.
That's what he used. He used it.
That was very creative, Mom, if I say so myself, because I was wondering, how is that a sports take? But she put the word athleticism to make it sporty. That was pretty clever. I see where I get some of my clever gene from. All right. Why did someone say Kyrie Irving went from Robin to Alfred the Butler? Alfred the Butler. Shelby already trying to pick a fight with Red. Come on. Josh Rushton said, heck no, Raheem. We'll talk about it in just a sentence. And he said, I'm going to defend the Falcons higher. Okay, we'll see you defend it a little later. We'll see what you have to say, Brother Jonathan. Vincent Woodruff, the Falcons just didn't try. Y'all will be looking for another coach soon. I agree. Heather Joy, the good brother was strategic and very sharp on his feet. He deserves to retire. Today, she's talking about a brother on Capitol Hill. Shelby, Raheem is gone. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm giving the black man something. Y'all giving the black man a hard time. Just have to cope with the fact that the Falcons were just on the That's a play on words with the Falcons. For those persons that don't know, that's a play on the Falcons kicker's name. So the joke's on point today, no doubt about it. Here we go. Eric sucked on that interview on purpose. Nobody wants to coach the Dirty Pigeons, man. I don't know if he taped the interview. I just don't know if he's a good interviewer. That may be the real truth right there. Monty says Eric deserves the job. Shelby says Red is once again taking focus. She is really picking with Red today, boy.
There you go. It started already.
Just not the Atlanta job. I don't think he wanted it. Vincent is just clear. He must have some intel that Eric Bieniemy is just anti-Atlanta Falcons. He said, Joe Black said Eric is going to Philadelphia. We'll see. And Vincent Woodruff was signed up for the 49ers to take him. Hey, Kelly Kell. And happy belated Founders Day to the Deltas, also to the AKAs. Heather Joy's watching. I know she's an AKA, and also happy Founders Day to any Zetas who may be watching on today. Are you saying Josh Allen is elite rep? He's elite this season. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am, and I don't make any of that. You should know. Didn't I beat you last? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Vincent Woodruff, they didn't teach contract negotiations at Clemson. Deshaun is going to have to wait this one out. No doubt about it. He is definitely going to have to wait this thing out. Vincent giving big ups to Eugene Goodman is the real MVP from January 6th. No doubt there would have been a lot more bloodshed had that brother not done what he had done. Raheem is joining me in Duval. He's going to be on. He's going to be on Urban Meyer's staff. We'll see. And we will not highlight Red's comments because he's on the show. All right. Red, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. I love our coach. Let's see what else as we round this thing on out. Josh Allen is balling out of his mind this year. No diggity and no doubt. All right, fans, thank y'all so much for chiming in. You all continue to add flavor to the show and be on alert for Thomas Holcomb's next joke. It's coming real soon.
It's coming.
His next made-up sport, too.
All right, here we go. Let's do a little college football recap. The college football season has officially ended, and it ended with the Alabama Crimson Tide as the national champions beating the Ohio State University. And that put a cap or a bow on our pick'em season. We already crowned coach the COVID college football champ. And the COVID college football champ went 0-1. He picked Ohio State. So he's 42. He finished the season 42-12. I picked Alabama. I finished 2 games behind coach, and Red picked Ohio State. He lost it. He finished the season 37-17. So again, big ups to our COVID champ of college football, coach Patrick Thomas. Gentlemen, we'll start real quickly before we talk about any analysis of the game that was really not a game. How do you feel about Devonte Smith being crowned the Heisman Trophy winner for this season?
Well, go ahead, Red.
That was surprising. You usually don't see a wide receiver getting the top trophies. It's like a wide receiver winning NFL MVP. I mean, that's a dependent position. And if a wide receiver usually have a season like that, they always going to look to see who the quarterback is. And then it's usually the quarterback that's rewarded with the top honor. So to see him bypass his own quarterback, Mac Jones, and win the top college award, Heisman Trophy, much props to Devonta Smith. I mean, this brother, I'm going to use one of Red's words, minus the curse word. Hot dog. That boy is good.
All right, Coach, your thoughts?
Definitely good. He's impressive. I mean, so impressive that I wouldn't mind. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He just upped his value to where a team could draft him top 5 and does not look so, wait a minute, why are you taking a receiver top 5? You take Devonta Smith, I understand.
All right. Coach, your thoughts?
Well, you just look at this the synopsis of the game. First off, from the start, Alabama's defense was in session as they knocked Sessions out of the game with an injury right off the bat. That ended it, which brought in my buddy with the greatest name in football.
I thought we were talking Devonta Smith. I thought we were talking Devonta Smith.
I thought we were doing the game synopsis. My fault.
Yeah.
Smith is a grown man with a little body. We got to get about 15 pounds on him. But he even when he hurt his hand, he was like he wanted to come back out there and play again. But the game was over, and him winning the Heisman was very easy because Kyle Trask looked like trash his last game or two. Justin Lawrence missing games, so he couldn't be it. And you look at Jones. Over half of his touchdowns were Devonta Smith, and then he did it again at the championship game. So Devonta Smith was the reason for Jones' success, basically. So he had to win the Heisman, no doubt.
All right. Now let's shift to the game. Thoughts on the game?
He had to, Coach, but I'm glad he did.
Thoughts on the game, Coach? Your thoughts. Give us some critique on the game.
Yeah, like I said, when they brought in, when they took Sessions out early, he never got started, and that Alabama offense got in gear. Even though my boy tried, like I said, a man with the greatest name in football, Master T, he couldn't get in there. He gave him nothing, and Justin Fields was still banged up from that Clemson game. Those ribs were still tender, and he couldn't do a lot of what he wanted to do, and Alabama just went in bully mode and just bullied him up and down the field, and said, hey, since y'all don't want it, we'll go ahead and take it again for the 18th year, and y'all think about it for next year because we'll be back again next year. So it was just a total Alabama beating, which is what it was.
Red, any other additional comments that you might have about that?
I'm just laughing at Coach and his enthusiasm by saying Master T.
That's my boy. The greatest name in football.
They gotta do a movie and give a character this name, but Master T. And then you talk about Kyle Trash is trash. Well, Coach, you on the roll today with these nicknames. But let me go back. Coach, you said Sessions without earlier. Do you mean Sermon?
Sermon, that's what I meant. I was thinking about another Sessions, another Sermon. Thank y'all for correcting me.
Yeah, and that kind of, to me, that really affected Ohio State. I mean, without Sermon to take the balance of I mean, without Sermon, they pretty much turned into one dimensional. All Alabama had to do was just gear in on Justin Fields. They didn't have to worry about another weapon beating them. You geared in on Fields. You didn't give him time to make the right throws to his tight ends or receivers. He didn't have really that much time to step into any throws, really. I mean, I might have saw him make one good throw he had time to step into. And like I say, I'm not going to even say the injury affected him last week because had he not got hurt the prior game, Alabama tuned them up themselves this game. So, but personally, I don't think it should affect his stock in the draft. I still think any team, Falcons, that were thinking about taking him should still Falcons take him in the draft where they'll pick number 4, Falcons. Anyway, but like I say, Alabama just did what they did. I mean, Nick Saban was highly prepared for Ohio State, and once Ohio State turned into a one-dimensional team, they pretty much made it simple for Alabama to roast them. So the best team won. I still think they need to expand the playoffs, but the better team won. Ohio State, they made it after crying just to get into the playoff tournament because we all know what would have happened had they not had that championship game. But the better team won, and I still don't think it should take any stock away from Ohio State players, but the better team won out. Nick Saban is proving why he's one of the greatest college coaches of all time. I guess that's it. I'm not trying to slurp Roll Tide too much. We got enough Roll Tide slurpers around anyway. But good win, Alabama. I'm still not happy you won.
I think Justin Fields' injury that he got during the Clemson game definitely affected him and his ability to be able to be the best he could be in order for the Ohio State Buckeyes to have a chance of beating Alabama. Alabama has traditionally struggled against quarterbacks who were mobile, who could rush, who could move. But with Justin Fields' injury, they didn't really have a fighting chance because he was limited in his trying to move and run, and he didn't really start running until the game was pretty much over. But he would have had to be 100%, and he would have had to play the game of his life in order for Ohio State to have had a chance. Trey Sermon, his injury did hurt them to have a fighting chance to win. So when you take Sermon and Fields out, their offense really could not compete to put up points on the board like Alabama's offense, because Alabama's offense was just definitely potent, and Devonte Smith just put on a clinic. And he's a prime example of just waiting for your time to shine, because here's the reality. If Waddle had never gotten hurt, Devonte Smith would not have been the Heisman Trophy winner. We would not be talking about Devonte Smith as he's household name. So that's a lesson to each and every one of us. If it's meant for you to shine, the shine will come at the appropriate time, and not to rush the process. For Devonte Smith could have left because he was second fiddle. Now, mind you, all these wide receivers that he was second fiddle to, Judy, who plays for the Broncos now, Riggs, who plays for the Oakland Raiders, he was second fiddle to Waddle, who will probably be a first-round draft pick. And he was the 4th best wide receiver on Alabama last year. He came into this year being the 2nd best. And now he's the best wide receiver, not only in Alabama, but in the nation. So I hope we don't miss out on that lesson to wait our turn. And if it's meant to be, it's going to happen one way or another. And as Joel Embiid said, trust the process. I hope we learn not to rush the process. So that's my Rev take on that particular session. I'm going to try to give some more Rev takes during the course of 2021. But nevertheless, are you all in agreement? Last thing on this, Armani and Joe Black have made some very provocative statements about Sermon. And Shelby was in their amen corner. Amani said Sermon saw how them boys was hitting and said, nah, y'all got it. So are you all in agreement that Trey Sermon got scared and just hung it up for the rest of the game?
What?
Well,
that's what the fans are saying. That the fans are accusing that man of being scared.
I tell you this, if that's the way he was truly feeling, he better not ever, and I mean he better not ever admit it. That better be a thought he take to his grave.
But do you think he was? I'm asking you, do you agree with the fans?
I mean, they say he had a serious injury now. I mean, if I find out the injury wasn't that serious now, but
well, hold on. Vincent Woodruff is reporting they broke his clavicle.
There you go. If you got a broken clavicle, then of course you're not going back in the game, especially versus Alabama. Now he wouldn't even go back in versus UGA. So a broken clavicle. But like I say, the way Bama bringing them hits now, bringing the wood. I mean, can you blame anybody if they get nicked up just a little bit and just say, man, oh man, y'all got it today, man. I got a pro career I'm thinking about. This is a business decision. So if Sermon made a business decision, because if he had went back in and re-injured that clavicle or hurt that clavicle even more, and that takes him from being a second or third rounder to a fifth or sixth rounder, I ain't mad at the man for making a business decision. I mean, Alabama, them Bama boys be laying that wood, even though they still a roll turd. Roll turd, Almighty.
All right, Coach, jump in there. Your thoughts? Was Sermon faking? Was it legitimate?
It might have been legitimate, but don't sell me on this SEC hit harder than anybody else. What, man? You got to be kidding. Everybody hits hard. And it just so now when Clemson didn't hit Justin Fields hard when he got put out, but he stayed in the game. All that hype about they hit hard in the SEC. That's baloney. They hit him. They knocked him out of the game. But who gonna play with a broken clavicle? Seriously, I mean, who gonna get back out there and be foolish enough to try to get back in the game? You got a broken clavicle. That myth is fake.
All right. Well, just to say, wait a second. Just to save face, Armani wants y'all to know this. Why paying me any attention about Sermon? He was just joking. Wishing him a speedy recovery. All right. So now Armani was joking. Joe Black, are you going on record saying you were joking? We'll see. All right. Jerome Case, Alabama's not causing anyone to make a business decision. Jerome Case is in Coach's Amen Corner. Everyone hits hard. SEC hype. Joe Black called the Pac-10 flag football.
Let me ask you.
Is that the reason? Oh, Shelby said she wasn't joking. Oh, okay,
Joe Black.
Shelby's tough, man. Shelby's tough.
Can I ask you a question, Joe Black? And I want you to respond to it. What team has a winning record from the Pac-10 against the SEC? What team? I want you to research that, and then you come back and put it in the comments.
Now, how many years are we talking about, Coach?
I mean, we talk about SEC won't play. They won't play USC.
Didn't Alabama drill USC?
I ain't talking about Alabama. Alabama. He talking about the
whole drill USC to start the season.
Again, you take Alabama out the SEC, they wouldn't be saying all this.
LSU just won. Coach, stop it. LSU just won the championship last year.
I'm talking about against
Auburn has won the championship within the past decade. Georgia was in the championship within the past 5 years.
You missing what I'm saying.
I ain't missing what you're saying. What are you saying?
I'm saying he trying to talk about the Pac-10. I said I'm talking about one school, USC. I care less about the rest of the Pac-12. They don't mean nothing to me. I asked him,
But what has USC done lately?
The only team that has beaten them is Alabama, and Alabama
But
beat them.
Coach, USC hasn't been in position for the SEC to beat them because they haven't made the college playoff.
But again, Red, why won't the SEC schedule games with other big conferences?
That's not true, Coach. Georgia just played Notre Dame.
I'm talking about the Pac-12.
In the Chick-fil-A game always schedules SEC team against one of the Power 5 conferences, Coach.
That's talking about out west.
We're not gonna allow you to practice Trumpism on this show now. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. That's Trumpism, Coach. That's fake news. That's alternative facts.
Well, just like it's alternative fact, they talking about the SEC hit harder. The SEC does this. They don't do all that.
Is the SEC better than the Pac-10?
Rev, I got it.
I take the top 3 teams, yeah.
Coach, they've had at least 6 teams playing for the national championship before the Pac-10's won, inclusive of your USC.
And Coach, if you're not worried about, you only worried about one Pac-12 team, then why are you defending the Pac-12 so vigorously? You only talking
I'm not defending the Pac-12, but I was talking about USC. I don't care.
What is USC?
That's what I'm saying.
Since Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart left, what has USC done?
They can't. The only game they played.
Mind you, because you beating around the bush. I asked you a specific question. Now, mind you, Reggie Bush is retired in the NFL now. So again, coach. Now, Pete Carroll, who is the coach, has since won a Super Bowl in the NFL. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. Now, what has USC done since Pete Carroll left, who's won a Super Bowl in the NFL, since Reggie Bush left, who's now retired? Because you're doing a lot of strong talk about the SEC, and you conveniently moved the USC Trojans out of the conversation with the Pac-12, and you talking as if USC has done. I'm asking the question like Janet Jackson. What has USC done for college football lately?
They haven't won nothing. I say that.
All right. What's the discussion, Coach?
But I'm just going back to this thing about how I'm talking about the SEC that hit harder mentality. They hit harder than other teams. That's what I'm going back to. They don't. How you thinking they hit harder than any other team?
Oh, let's ask this question. Let me ask you this way. Do the SEC teams play better defense?
Oh, not this year they didn't. Look at those scores.
What?
Now, Coach, you coach sports, both football and basketball, right? What is the cliche in sports? That's championships.
Defense.
So, do those teams play better defense than the Pac-12? Tradition.
Again, I ain't threatening the Pac-12. You keep trying to throw the Pac-12 in.
Come on, Coach.
You started the argument.
USC's defense is not on the same line as Alabama's defense, Georgia's defense. Come on now. And look. USC is playing in an inferior conference and still hadn't won the championship recently in the Pac-12. You trying to defend USC and not the Pac-12. But when was the last time they were the Pac-12 champions?
Look at this. Listen to me.
It wasn't the Pac-12. It was the Pac-10 the last time they were champions.
Yeah, Coach. I understand. Yeah, Coach.
You started off.
You setting yourself up, Coach, for this conversation.
You got to say something about the Pac-12, and that's what started Coach to get mad. So how you going to start off by defending the Pac-12 because of the man coming, but then say it's not about the Pac-12, it's only about USC.
And you ain't understand on with USC, Coach.
That's all I want. The rest
But
of them
you can't defend USC in the same conversation with the SEC because they've done nothing. They would be a bottom feeder potentially in the SEC right now.
What? Are you kidding, Rev?
Okay, again. When is the last time, since USC is this big juggernaut, when's the last time they won the Pac-12 championship?
It was a few years ago. But let me ask you this question.
When have they made it to the college football playoff since they've had the Final Four?
Nope. They haven't.
Do.
Okay, let me come back to your question. Okay. I'm gonna say this and then we done with this. We gotta go on. Look at the SEC teams and go 1-on-1 against USC and say win or loss. Let's go through that since you said they're a bottom feeder.
Coach, they are not. Let's not waste the people's time. They're not better than Alabama. They're not better than traditionally LSU. They're not better than Georgia. They're not better than Florida. Those are four teams. Those are four. They are not better. We can put the records. They're not better. Well, Florida maybe because Florida just got back on the scene. But they're not better than Georgia, Alabama, or LSU these past few seasons. That's three teams.
Texas,
out of the whole
Auburn. You can throw all of them in there too.
Auburn, you crazy, Red. You out of your mind. Auburn, you crazy.
Well, Auburn has won a championship since USC been in the championship. So
how long ago?
But your long ago has been longer though. USC.
Okay. Look at this year. Let's look at the past couple. Auburn will not beat USC. I don't care what you say. Let's count all them schools. Auburn, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Texas A&M, all them teams. Man, please. Moving on. Let's go. We moving on.
You got to stop making these statements about if you don't like SEC, I get it, man. But come on now, don't put USC in the same conversation. We're not talking about the old USC. We talk about the USC today. And the USC today is just not on that level, Coach. It is what it is.
Not the USC that Vince Young beat. We talking about today's USC.
All right, Coach. We love you, man. We love you. All right, let's quick. Dang, Coach, you have to wave us off like that, man.
Hey, you said move on. I'm trying to get the show going. It's almost 12 o'clock.
No, you weren't talking fake news. You weren't trying to move the show with that fake news.
Yeah, that fake news about SEC hit harder. That ain't no fake. That's fake news.
I'm not gonna say all of that, but I'm gonna just say
that's the point I was making.
We don't know. We don't know who's measuring the impact of the hits and stuff like that. But we do know the SEC traditionally plays better defense than the Pac-12, and USC included. We do know that the SEC teams find themselves in the college playoff every year, and there's not just been Alabama in the college playoff. There have been at least 4 or 5 SEC teams that have been in the college playoff than any team in the Pac-12, inclusive of USC. That's what we do know. All right? May the Lord bless you and keep my sincere prayer.
Not the benediction.
All right. The comments have come in. Matter of fact, let's go. Let's stop right here. I didn't think we would be talking college football that long. We're going to pause for halftime real quickly. I know we started 15 minutes late, but we'll pause for halftime. And then since most of the conversation left is basketball and pro football, we'll make that our second half. So we're going to pause right now for halftime of the Red Rev Sports Show. Coach wanted to railroad the plan with our schedule, but no, I'm just joking with you, Coach.
Railroad.
Yeah, you railroaded us with that extra banter about the USC is not all that and then some. But I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, Coach. It's halftime of the Red Rev Sports Show, everybody. Hang out with your boys a little longer. We got some NFL talk. We got some good move, bad move conversation. And we'll talk a little basketball as well. Man. Yeah.
Rev, I'm scared, man.
You scared?
You won't know what I'm scared about.
What you scared about?
And coach so emotional right now, and we've yet to get the NFL
Yeah.
football.
I know where you go with that. I know where you go with that. All right, everybody, hang out with us for a little bit longer. Halftime of the Red Rev Sports Show. We're coming right back. All right, we're back from halftime of the Red Rev
music.
Show. Let me check on my boy, Coach. Do we need to enter you into
I couldn't hear no music, man. What happened to the music?
I thought I picked some music, but maybe I didn't. Oh, you know what? I know what happened. I took myself off the screen, and that's why there was no music. So my bad. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry y'all couldn't rock the halftime because I put my mic off. So that's my fault, Coach. But are you good, Coach?
I'm always good. I'm a debate. And wherever, and I know where Red is going. It ain't gonna matter. It's over now. It's a done deal.
We go get there, Coach. We go get there, baby. We go get there. We go get there. All right. Let's start off second half with good deal or bad deal. And what we're going to do is just call out some names of people who got hired, fired this past week, and some quick hot takes, maybe 45 seconds each, gentlemen. You tell us if it's a good deal or bad deal and tell us why. Fans, feel free to join in this sports exercise, good deal or bad deal. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Let's start with the one that happened to the Super Bowl champ, Doug Peterson, fired by the Eagles. Red, I'll start with you. Good deal or bad deal? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I? Yeah, good deal or bad deal?
Ready? We good?
Yeah, go with it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of complicated. Depends on how you look at it. I mean, good deal if you were a Carson Wentz fan and you say something real?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Good deal if you're a Carson Wentz fan and you didn't want them to get rid of him. Now, personally, after he pulled that move the last game of the season, I didn't think he was that safe anyway. But bad deal if you like the stability of them, because he did have won your only Super Bowl, and it hadn't been that long ago. So basically, what you're telling the team is you choosing the quarterback who you paid over the coach who won your Super Bowl. So that remains to be seen who's gonna win in this particular situation. But personally, my personal opinion, I think it was a bad deal. I would have chose Peterson over Wentz. Wentz has already proven that he can't get the job done. I mean, I know you paid him, but you could have tried your best to find a trade partner. There's two.
All right, jump in there, Coach. 45 seconds. Go ahead, Coach. Good deal or bad deal? Doug Peterson fired by the Eagles.
Good. good. I mean, you implode your team by making a decision like he did at the end of the game, that last game, and you cause friction on your team. Goodbye. I mean, you wasting your time. That Super Bowl win, la-di-da. That you won one year. You'll never win again. Bye. Good deal.
All right, that mixed emotions from the fans. Marcel Thrower said bad deal. I don't think it's necessarily giving up on the coach for one bad season, but I think it's all about the investment. Like I told Armani and others on this show, it's about the investment that they made with Carson Wentz, and that's too much money to just be flushing down the toilet. All right, good deal or bad deal. Dan Quinn hired as the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. Coach, on you.
It's probably a good deal because anything to help the Cowboys because their offense needs some serious help. Of course, you don't have Dak Prescott, which makes it hard, but still, you got those wide receivers, Cooper and CD Lamb. You ought to be able to put up some kind. Then you got Emmitt Smith as a running back. You ought to have some kind of success as offensive coordinator. Maybe he can jumpstart him. I mean, anything is a good deal.
All right, Red, you tell us your good deal or bad deal about Dan Quinn going to Dallas.
Well, I think he was hired as the defensive coordinator, not the offensive coordinator.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad. Wrong one. Go ahead. Thanks for the question.
Coach. He was actually coach. He didn't get hired as the OC now. That would have been really
DC, my bad. That's my fault. Go ahead.
But you fired Mike Nolan, one bad defensive coordinator to me, for another one. I mean, if Dan Quinn gonna bring that same defense he brought to my Falcons, then definitely a bad deal. If you're gonna be having defensive backs playing 10 yards off of receivers and putting defensive linemen and linebackers in the most awful positions possible to make plays, this is an awful deal for the Cowboys. But they'll learn. I mean, we are talking about the Cowgirls. So, they always like to follow us, copycat. If he didn't work out for us, what make you think he's going to work out for you? Whether he was the head coach or the defensive coordinator, the fact is he was running Pete Carroll's defense. He don't have the Legion of Boom. He don't have Pete Carroll. Bad deal. He need to go back to college.
All right. Let's go to a hiring. Next one. Robert Saleh, hired by the Jets to be the next head coach. Coach, good deal or bad deal?
Good. New blood. They say he's like Rex Ryan without the ignorance, so maybe he can actually coach a little bit. I give Ryan a little credit, not much. Saleh had the the 49ers defense looking good until they had 95 injuries. So I say good deal for the Jets. He will improve them.
All right, Red, thoughts? Good deal or bad deal?
I was in the middle until I heard about the guy he was bringing in to run his offense, Mike LaFleur. Now that takes it up to a good deal. Now he can totally focus on building his defense. He can let Mike LaFleur, who's going to me, that is the perfect guy to bring in to work with Sam Darnold. He can let him run the offense. He's going to focus solely on the defense. I agree with Coach. He's definitely a Rex Ryan ripoff with more intelligence. Very passionate. Definitely a player's coach. I went on it at first, but now I'm trending upwards. Good deal for the Jets.
All right. We see the comments. I'm going to go back to a firing right here. Anthony Lynn fired by the Chargers. Good deal or bad deal?
Expected deal. No-brainer deal. We all saw it. Writing was on the wall mid-season type deal. It's a bad deal if you're looking for the lack of minority coaches, but good deal if you just want to take race out of it. I mean, like I say, we all knew this was going to happen. You can't lose the way you're losing and have the talent you have with a team like that. Now, it's very imperative that the Chargers make the right hire, or else we're going to look back and say, well, you probably should have kept Lynn, just gave him another chance. But if they make the right hire and Justin Herbert's game goes to the next level, I mean, like I say, he has plenty of skill positions, plenty of skill players around him. Good deal as long as you make the right hire to replace him.
All right, Coach. Good deal, bad deal. Anthony Lynn gets fired.
It was a good deal. He clearly lost that team and never achieved what people thought he was going to do coming in. He never just really jumped out and made any big kind of had any good seasons with the talent that they kept trying to provide him. So it was a good deal. And Bieniemy might be in line for that one as well. I forgot about the Chargers.
All right. Let's see. Vincent Woodruff disagrees with you. I said bad deal. Give him a chance like the other garbage coaches. Herbert was just starting to click. Interesting. Maurice Thrower. Bad deal for the Chargers. Lynn was okay for the team, even though they choked games away. They should have kept him. That's interesting too.
You just explain why they should have got rid of Maurice. Oh, good deal to keep him, even though he choked games away. Why the world would they keep him then?
All right, moving on real quickly. Urban Meyer hired as the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. Good deal or bad deal? Go ahead, Red. No, not on you. Coach, good deal or bad deal? Go.
It depends on which Urban Meyer you get. The Urban Meyer who ready to leave at a moment's notice because he wants to spend time with his family, or the Urban Meyer who glad he can get sunshine from Clemson and think he can make a winner in Jacksonville. Which winner you get? I go half and half, good, bad.
All right. Red, good deal, bad deal?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, Coach right. I mean, you just don't know what you're getting at Urban Meyer. I mean, like Coach said, I mean, one moment he'll wake up and everything's going good, sun is shining bright. I'm ready to coach football. Next minute he wake up, he got health problems. Next minute he wake up, he burnt out. Next minute he wake up, he get tired. I mean, Urban Meyer is full of emotion. But the good thing is, as long as Jacksonville know what they're getting, you know, like I say, as long as it's good, Urban Meyer is gonna work out. I just hope he stay there long enough to get Trevor on the right foot. So by the time he decides to abruptly leave without a moment's notice, that folks will be ready for his departure. But I don't see this being long term. Urban Meyer, he get burnt out too quick, too passionate.
Man, I'm laughing, not at you, Red, but I'm laughing at Jerome Case's comments saying he'll quit mid-season with health issues, crying about grown men not listening to him.
Yeah. Hey, surprised to say this. I actually agree with Jerome Case. That's a big deal right there. I know
that's a big deal. Yeah, you normally don't agree with Jerome Case, so yeah. And we know Mr. Florida. Mr. Thrower, Mr. Florida said, excellent deal. Meyer loves the area, and he's went everywhere he's been watching work. Depending on how long will he work.
Are you a Dolphins fan? Not even a Jaguars fan.
But here's the problem with watching Urban Meyer work. He was working the SEC, and then when Nick Saban came to town, he had all of a sudden all these heart palpitations and all that stuff, and it's all these sicknesses. So once he gets a coach that he can't outmaneuver, get ready for another mysterious illness. But we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting.
As long as he got Trevor Lawrence there, he'll have a good quarterback. So you see, but the thing is, even with Rev, he can have the perfect team, and he'll still get burnt out eventually. So like I say, Jacksonville better be ready. Because one of these days he's just gonna come. He's gonna come at no warning, no kind of no surprise. He is gonna leave, and I hope they have Plan B ready.
Well, in his defense, and this is a bad defense. Let's remember he did not leave Ohio State because of health issues. They kind of forced him out because he had that coach on the team that was guilty of domestic violence, and he knew about that situation and kind of swept it under the rug. So just to save face and not to disparage his name and reputation, they had a mutual agreement for him to part ways, and they just used the word retirement. So he would possibly still be the head coach of Ohio State if that situation had not happened with that coach being guilty of domestic violence and him aiding and abetting that coach when he knew that knowledge.
Okay, well then I forgot. You're right, Ray. I forgot all about that situation. Okay, well then my take on that has changed a little bit. He might want one last hurrah to prove he's a good coach. So he might stay on 3 or 4 years to see if he can get a quick Super Bowl with Trevor Lawrence. If he sees if he see, oh man, I could probably get this thing done quickly with Trevor, then he gonna stay to see if he can get a Super Bowl. Now I tell you this: if he go to the Super Bowl and lose, I think he'll quit. I think he'll quit soon after that. I don't see him going through those big junklet of emotions and then come back and try to do it over and over again. So however quicker he gets to the Super Bowl, that's how long he gonna stay there. Win or lose, if he take him to the Super Bowl, he's out.
Now, Coach, you laughed at the proposition of the Jaguars being in and winning a championship. Let's not forget now, they did beat your Steelers a few years ago where they were 1 game away from the Super Bowl.
But guess what the Jaguars
Hold on. Can I finish my point? Just a moment. Just a moment. Now, I'm not just talking about the past, but I'm going to start talking about the present. We know in football, teams can change overnight. Not that I'm saying that that's what's going to happen with Jacksonville. But what does Jacksonville have coming into the Urban Meyer era? They have potentially a star quarterback, and they have cap space. So that means they can get some great talent to come into Jacksonville with the cap space that they have. So with that being said, Coach, are you still laughing?
Yep. Because they had a fire sale pretty much, giving away all the great players. Now I know you're talking about the cap space, but who would want to go back there? Who would go back? Would Urban Meyer be able to attract a high-priced free agent, a big-time free agent? And have never coached in the NFL.
But here's the thing. Urban Meyer's name resonates with those guys in the NFL. Why? Because when most of them played, Urban Meyer was the guy in college football. Urban Meyer won in Utah. Urban Meyer won in Bowling Green. Urban Meyer won at the Ohio State. Urban Meyer won in Florida. So they associate the name Urban Meyer with winning, even though that winning was in college. But he won everywhere he's gone. So they don't know an Urban Meyer who has not been a winner. So those are things that you have to keep in mind. Even the veterans who've been in the league 10, 12 years, all of them know Urban Meyer as a winner. And in a lot of cases, they remember Urban Meyer's team beating them.
Yes.
So we understand we can go the Nick Saban route. And let's remember now, actually, Urban Meyer was more accomplished or is more accomplished going into the NFL as a college coach than Nick Saban was.
Yeah.
Because Nick Saban wasn't the Nick Saban now.
Nope.
He was 1 championship Nick Saban from LSU. Urban Meyer won 2 championships at Florida and also won a championship at Ohio State and had an undefeated season when they were on probation, when he entered the league. So he is way more accomplished than even Jimmy Johnson was when Jimmy Johnson went to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Preach it,
Okay.
man. Preach it. And
Okay, Red. So are you over there nodding? Do you think he'll win a Super Bowl in 3 years?
I'm saying,
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Hey, you gotta let me explain. He will have an opportunity with look. We don't, with everybody saying how good Trevor Lawrence gonna be. If he lives up to that hype, he will have an opportunity sooner rather than later, as long as Trevor comes and plays like he's projected to play. So to answer your question, I expect Jacksonville to be a contender soon. Yes, in the next 2 or 3 years. I'm not gonna say, yeah, no, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. I mean, they would have to actually be in the Super Bowl. Then you can say, yes or no, Red, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. But I expect them to be a contender sooner rather than later. And coach, with your quarterback going out and their quarterback going in, their upside is way looking more up. That's what I'm saying. I'm only giving Urban Meyer this huge benefit of the doubt only because he has a potential franchise quarterback coming in. And we all know the man works well with young players, young talent. He going to have a team full of young players and young talent. That's probably best, because if he had a team full of veterans, they probably wouldn't listen to his old butt. But having a team full of young talent, young players, eager to learn, ready, hungry to make a change, hungry to win, man, that's why I told Rev the other week ago, the Jags are my team in the AFC. As soon as they sign Trevor Lawrence, the Jags are going to be my AFC team. And with Urban Meyer, man, they looking more respectable by the day. Because like Rev said, every player in the NFL know who Urban Meyer is. Like you said, most of the players in their prime right now, coach, they all know Urban Meyer. They were playing for Urban Meyer, playing against Urban Meyer, competed against Urban Meyer, definitely heard of Urban Meyer. To me, he could have came in a better situation. Cap space, potential franchise quarterback, and something to prove.
So Urban Meyer is going to beat the Chiefs.
No, and that's the big elephant in the room for Jacksonville or any team in the AFC is beating Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's not just for Jacksonville. That's for your Steelers. Yeah. That's Buffalo, because Patrick Mahomes is just that dude, and the Chiefs. So now here's the caveat to that, Coach. It's going to be interesting to see what the Chiefs will do once Patrick Mahomes' mega deal kicks in, because they're going to lose some players, because you can't pay one dude $40 million and not allow it to affect some aspect of the team. So there is the potential for a team to come on in and have a better built roster from top to bottom that could potentially beat the Chiefs, because the Chiefs are going to experience some type of deficiencies because of Patrick Mahomes' mega salary. Now, the other thing is Patrick Mahomes that great where he can get paid while offset all of or the deficiency that the Chiefs will have because of them paying his mega salary? That's going to be the question.
Well, let's just stay in his own division, in Jacksonville division. Are they going to do enough and think Tennessee and Indianapolis are just going to sit back and watch them come up and beat them?
All right, Coach, here's the thing. Jacksonville has a better chance to be better put together than the Titans. Do you really think Ryan Tannehill is going to get them to a Super Bowl?
Oh, no, I ain't said Super Bowl.
No, but Jacksonville has the potential to build a better roster. The Titans right now are stuck because their roster is based on an average quarterback and a great running back. And pretty much now, the way the NFL is designed, you got to have a great quarterback rather than a great running back. And that's why the Titans really got beat last week, because they could not overcome when the Ravens stuffed the running game. Ryan Tannehill wasn't that good to be able to offset what the Ravens did. So Jacksonville, because of the cap space, because of Trevor Lawrence, mind you, they can go in on some big-time free agents at respective positions because they're not going to be paying Trevor Lawrence anytime soon. Big money. So you got at least 4 years where they're going to be paying Trevor Lawrence rookie money so you can bolster your roster everywhere else.
Exactly.
That's something you got to think about.
Hey, real, both are telling me, defend Arthur Smith. Both were acting like Tannehill with this great QB. And I kept telling them, he just improved. Stop acting like he's this elite quarterback or something. Yeah, he's playing better, but it's easy to play better when you got a 2,000-yard running back. God.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all this real quickly, and this is to somebody's statement about Vincent said Urban Meyer's success will hinge on Surfer Boy Trevor Lawrence's learning curve. Now, is Urban Meyer is more of an offensive guy than a defensive guy? Am I correct?
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence then may be in good shape because let's be reminded. Patrick Mahomes' success is because of Andy Reid being an offensive guru. So Trevor Lawrence's learning curve might not be as bad or not as long with somebody like Urban Meyer. But I think the bigger thing is the coaching curve of Urban Meyer may be just as important as the learning curve of Trevor Lawrence because now he's dealing with a different dynamic. All right. Let's get to our last good deal, bad deal for football. Then I'm going to shift gears. And here it is. Arthur Smith hired by the Falcons. He was the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. Red, I'm going to start with you. Since you are the biggest Falcons fan on this set, good deal or bad deal?
Not so deal. So I have to say bad deal because Arthur Smith, nobody was thinking about Arthur Smith when his whole coaching search, when everybody was talking about who they want to replace Dan Quinn, this and that. Arthur Smith was not on anybody's radar. And he's been with the Titans a long time, doing a lot of quality control for the most part. But still, Arthur Smith came out of nowhere. So I'm not going to get excited about it, Coach. Yeah, the Titans offense improved. But to me, Arthur Smith is not that guy. He's not the best at his spot. He wasn't leading the greatest offense. I mean, he's not like what Eric Bieniemy was leading, possibly the number one offense in the NFL. So to me, the Falcons just got rid of a mediocre to middle of the pack defensive guy to hire a mediocre middle of the pack offensive guy. So, I mean, I really don't know what the plan is right now. I guess we'll know once the draft comes. And if they don't take a quarterback then early, then we'll know they still trying to win this thing with Matt and Julio. And they still, somewhere in their mind, actually believe that we can still get this job done with those two guys leading the way. I don't. Hopefully, this guy proved me wrong. But right now, I don't see it. I'm not a believer. I'm not sold. Like I say, it's easy when you have Derrick Henry, a 2,000-yard running back. I'm not giving him credit on turning Tannehill's career around because, like we just said, Tannehill has a decent running game and an adequate offensive line. So he's coming to a team with a mid-level offensive line, below average running game, a passing game that needs work, and a quarterback and a number one wide receiver that's probably on their way out. So if Arthur Blank is this great offensive mind, I'm here to tell all these Falcon fans that's defending them, we gonna see. But I'm with you, Rev. I'm thinking in 2 or 3 years we'll be having the same conversation.
All right, Coach, jump in there. Good deal or bad deal for the Falcons?
Who's the Falcons quarterback?
Matt Ryan.
Your turn, Red.
Come on, man. You can't just drop the mic like that. Give us some more facts, Coach.
Damn, that's what we supposed to do, Coach.
Again, your roster is maybe having upheaval because you don't know. I mean, they keep talking about Julio may be gone. They keep talking about Matt Ryan may be gone. And I don't know what you're bringing Arthur Smith into, but, you know, the curve for him might be a little more slanted or different because of what you're leaving him with. And I don't know, like I said, until they draft and they put the pieces in place, I want to see how they draft, what he thinks about him and the new GM, how they draft. Because Matt Ryan is not your long-term answer. He's been proving that. So you can't go with him. So, and Julio, as much as they love Julio, for some reason the last couple of years he can't stay on the field. So we'll see what he does. He's an offensive mind, so let's see if he comes in with a different offense. Maybe he go, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, I would like Robert Sellers, the offensive hire or offensive mind. Got Matt LaFleur's brother.
Well, I'm gonna chime in. What this hire smells like to me is that they are definitely running back Matt Ryan as quarterback at least this coming season. I think they're running back Julio Jones for this season. And I think Arthur is saying, I need somebody to show me for sure that Matt Ryan is done. Because I think Matt Ryan is too much of the salary cap to take a hit where the Falcons, by getting rid of Matt Ryan, even by trade, that's like throwing away next season all the way together, because they're going to take a major cap hit. And I think because of Arthur Blank's age, I don't think he's willing to just say, I'm willing to sacrifice an entire season. So this is
doing last 3.
Well, he thought, I'm not going to say that, because let's remember Dan Quinn, even though we know on this show that Dan Quinn's Super Bowl run was predicated upon Kyle Shanahan. We know that, right? Yeah. But since he was the head coach, this is why Arthur Blank felt a little bit comfortable to run that back again. And it came at his peril, because we said Kyle Shanahan really hid a lot of the coaching flaws of Dan Quinn.
Pretty much all of them.
Right. And it was because of Kyle Shanahan's blunder in the Super Bowl, not necessarily Dan Quinn's, but it is Dan Quinn's fault because he's the head coach, because he could have told them to run the ball, but he didn't. We see that's why the Falcons lost. But it's going to be.
Rev, let me ask you one question, Rev. If Kyle Shanahan wasn't here the first 2 years, what you think Dan Quinn record would have been? Because I don't think it would have been 8-8 and 11-5. And he lucky it was 8-8 that first year, because that first year, the first 5 games was pretty much all Kyle Shanahan. I don't know what happened the last 13 games and whatnot, but definitely Dan Quinn took over, because we started good, finished bad, then we had a good season and ended bad the next year. And I'm just saying, without Kyle Shanahan leading his offense, man, I'm wondering what would he have even lasted that long, as long as he did?
Nah, he wouldn't have. From what we saw, just a lot of his deficiencies as a head coach after Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he probably may have gone 3-13. He definitely would not have had a Super Bowl run.
No way. No way.
Now, the only thing I'm going to give him is this. Before the Falcons started paying Matt Ryan $30 million, the Falcons, especially in his season after the Super Bowl season, which was year 2 or 3? Was that 3. Year 2? 3?
No, 3.
So years 3 and 4, his defense was solid. They were young the Super Bowl year. Then the following year, they carried the Falcons when they lost to the Eagles in the second round. So years 3 and 4 were the years that he did show that the Falcons had a solid defense. It wasn't until Matt Ryan started making $30 million when the defense plunged completely. So salary cap issues hurt the Falcons. And this is why the Falcons had to load up on young cornerbacks, because they had to pay Grady Jarrett and they had to pay Deion Jones. And this is why they've been just doing some patchwork at cornerback, expecting young guys to play some of the top wide receivers in the league, and it's just not happening.
And he made the awful decision to hire Sark instead of going with Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur was right here on the team. You talking about he wasn't ready, man? When you got a historic offense, you don't change. Now, if your offense coordinator leaves, then you better take the quarterback's coach or whoever on the roster that know that offense. Why are you going outside? And you don't really go outside the NFL. This clown went all the way to college football to try to replace a historic offense. Man, that too killed him. That was
that's where it definitely started going downhill. Now, here we go. This guy, here he comes. All right. All I'm saying, Mr. Case, before Matt Ryan made $30 million, the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. The following year, the Falcons went to the second round of the playoffs. $30 million kicks in. Mr. Jerome Case, this is for you. How many times have the Falcons been to the playoffs the past 3 seasons since he's been making $30 million? That's all I'm going to say. I'm gone. I'm going with that. All right.
Rhymes with hero and starts with a Z, Rev, and rhymes with hero.
Matt Ryan's decision-making also contributed to the apparel, not solely on the. So Vincent going the playing route. I can agree with that as well. I'm not going to refute that, but I just want him, Jerome Case, to understand the point I was making was more towards salary cap. That's all I was saying. He said with all those ABC package stores in Atlanta, Sark was a bad hire. No doubt. Now, Dante says they fell off, missed the draft. Beasley and Tack were both major busts. That's very true. That was very true, very true. And Freeney definitely helped out in his old age. And Freeney, once he couldn't really do it no more, the Falcons' rushing the football got really tough. It's still puzzling how they refused to run the ball. Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. No doubt. All right. And I agree with Vincent, but I'm not going to go down that route right there. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to shift gears, but we're going to still stay in good move, bad move territory with this. And let me get this banner off. Let me see if this will make me great right here, because we're going to shift gears a little bit. Let's get ready to talk some basketball, gentlemen. Let's get ready to talk some basketball. Let me cue up the music so we talk a little basketball.
Lakers won again last night. 5 wins, baby.
Oh, you know, Shelby would puke if she was still watching when you say that. Here we go, man. I got this slow internet in the hotel. Let's talk a little basketball, gentlemen. All right. We're still in the mood of good move, bad move. Coach, get ready. I'm coming to you for your hot take. James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, God.
Good move or bad move? What say you, Coach?
A good move for the Rockets. A bad move for the Nets. I mean, you got a great shooter who gained 40 pounds. How much? 40, 50 pounds, I guess. And now you coming out there with and Kevin Durant probably sitting back thinking, what did I just inherit? I got crazy Kyrie, and then I got bloated James Harden coming out in. And on paper, everybody already said, here's the team that's coming out the East. Incorrect. Because after those 3, what do you have left? Dinwiddie is hurt. He can't play this year. LeVert is gone. You trade away half your team. And maybe Joe Harris, but Joe Harris probably shoot 2 shots a night between them 3. So what you got? Nothing. Good move, Rockets. Your team could be viable in the West. You won't win, but you at least have a nucleus somewhat. But Nets, there's gonna be a lot of Nets missed on that team.
Red on you, man. Good move or bad move, Harden to the Nets?
Well, it's good for a lot of reasons. Not solely the Nets though. It's good for the fans because we get to watch this train wreck soap opera the whole season, and we get to laugh and say "I told you so" at the end when it all fails. Good move for the Rockets because I agree with somebody's comment. I think they are going to get better by subtracting James Harden. Who would think the Rockets will probably be better with James Harden and Westbrook gone this season? I think they'll band together and they'll make somewhat of a decent season out of this. And if not, they got plenty of draft picks to help rebuild that team. So I think they set for the future. Uh, I don't know how Victor Oladipo feel about the situation. I don't know if he wanted to go to Houston and play. But as far as it go, we all get to see Brooklyn is now a contender in the East. Like Coach said, you got crazy Kyrie and Jumbo Jim playing with Kevin Durant. So we'll see how it all play out. But if you think I'm worried at all, if you think my Lakers are blinking an eye worrying about this pathetic team, please, you got to be mentally tough to even have a chance to beat us. And you ain't mentally tough at all when you got one weirdo walking the earth like Samuel L. Jackson at the end of Pulp Fiction. We got another selfish guy coming in, look like he been hanging out at Golden Corral and Krispy Kreme all off season long. And you got Kevin Durant still trying to get back to 100%, coming off a torn Achilles. So we got all three unique stories coming around. We're gonna see how it all play out. And none of it is gonna end with them be my Lakers. So I'm feeling good. I love watching these soap operas play out, baby.
Hey,
Dante.
Now Dante made the quote of the day on this one right here. That's a real thought right there. They will be fun to play with against our NBA 2K. No doubt about it. Now, Heather Joy has introduced a new term to us that she tells us that it was an excellent transfer. James Harden got transferred.
Good one, Heather. Good one.
He got transferred from the Rockets to the Nets. That's some new sports terminology for you right there, man. That's classic.
Go, Heather.
That's classic right there. He got transferred to the Nets. All right, now I'm going to shift gears on you all. Now, this is a hypothetical good deal or bad deal, so stay with me right here. Stay with me. This is a hypothetical. Would it be a good deal?
Bradley Beal.
Or a bad deal?
Bradley Beal.
Hold on, man. We ain't talking Bradley. He got to recover from COVID first, man, before he get traded anywhere. All right. Well, now, let me set it up better than that. With the Nets acquiring James Harden, would it be a good deal or a bad deal to trade Kyrie Irving? Think on that. Now, remind you, the context is they got James Harden. KD's Batman. James Harden is Robin. Some might say James Harden Batman. Nevertheless, you got two former MVPs on the same squad. You got a KD Steph Curry situation. I love the quote that Charles Barkley said. He said that KD went from playing with the Splash Brothers to the Dribble Brothers. That was classic. That was classic. But let's go back to what we're talking about on the Red Rev Sports Show. Good deal, bad deal for the Nets to potentially trade Kyrie Irving. Who wants at it first?
I'll go at it. I mean, I would consider it now, especially if I could find a deal that would help improve my depth or my bench. I mean, you got Harden and Durant. I mean, you really don't need crazy Kyrie around. I mean, if he stays, fine, you got a triple threat. But with Harden and Durant, you already got your backcourt and your front court taken care of. You just really need a rim protector and a little depth coming off the bench. So if I can trade Kyrie to get some of that back, man, I would consider that in a heartbeat. Because
so
I
think that would be a good deal.
Good deal. Because me personally, I couldn't deal with the craziness, Kyrie. I'm telling Durant right now. I would have told Durant last week, like, look, dude, I'm trying to win a championship. I can't be dealing with this craziness, and especially now that I got Harden on the horizon. Man, please, dude, do you really want this guy on the team? Because if not, I'm about to seek out a trade for this guy. That's what, if I'm Sean Marks, that's the meeting I would have had with Durant. Because everybody keeps saying that he's Durant's boy, and you want to consult with Durant before you just trade him. Well, I'll be consulting every day until Durant said, okay, let's move him. Because, like I say, I know me and my mental set, I couldn't deal with that guy every day. I just couldn't. I've been on saying something to him.
I got you. Coach, good deal or bad deal for the Nets to potentially trade Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, Kyrie can go be a starting mega star for the Charlotte Hornets. He can go be a starting mega star for I don't know, some team that has the Cleveland Cavaliers. Go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Hey, you'll be a mega star.
Send him Colin Sexton. I'll take Colin Sexton in a heartbeat over some Kyrie.
Nobody gonna take Colin Sexton.
Oh,
here we go.
That wasn't me, already.
I'm gonna chime in. I think what we need to do is come to the reality that Kyrie Irving is not who many people think that he is. I've been trying to tell you people since this sports show has begun, Kyrie Irving is not a superstar. Kyrie Irving benefited to have superstar status because he won a championship with LeBron James. Everybody want to talk about he hit the shot. He hit the shot. Mind you, the game was tied when he hit that shot. So let's remember that. Mind you, it was LeBron James who hit the block, who got the block to put Kyrie in that position. All right, so I don't want to hear all that. He hit the shot. Many people have made him a superstar because of hitting that one shot. But we already have experience, gentlemen, of Kyrie Irving being that guy. He was that guy, or supposed to be that guy in Boston, and he was horrible. He was so horrible that young guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown couldn't get Kyrie out of Boston fast enough. So we already know he is not Batman material, and he's showing us through whatever his problems are, and I pray that they're not very severe. I pray that if he does have some major problems, he can get the help. But because of his mental state, and I'll say even his game, because his game is centered around me, myself, and I. Let me get mine. Because we can't name one player that's played with Kyrie Irving that's gotten better because of Kyrie Irving. Jason Tatum became that dude when Kyrie Irving got hurt. Jaylen Brown has improved his game since Kyrie Irving has left. So trading Kyrie Irving, who's trading for Kyrie Irving to be their Batman? If they do, they deserve everything that's coming to them with all the L's and all of the foolishness that's going to come with getting Kyrie Irving. So I would say for the Nets, it's a good deal to trade Kyrie Irving. But for the team that trades for him, it's a bad deal.
And I wish Kyrie stop associating my boy King, the King up in heaven, with Kyrie, because there's some things that Kyrie has been doing lately that my King, he would be very disappointed, and he would definitely wouldn't be approving some of these moves. You think Kobe would be sitting back and watching Kyrie leave his team going AWOL and talking about you a winner, talking about Kobe is your idol? Oh, man, Kobe is laughing at your clown butt, man. Get out of here. Please stop invoking Kobe and Kyrie together, okay? Two totally different players with two totally different. I bet Kobe would disown Kyrie right now if he was still living with these moves he making.
I'm not reading this.
Which one you reading?
Drop down one more. You gotta be
Colin don't have mental issues like Kyrie. If the Cavs traded Colin for Kyrie Irving, they're going to be to a championship because Colin can pass, play defense, and shoot. Straight about it. I mean, Colin has improved his game, but I don't know if the Nets are going to win just because they put him on the team. But I would, if I were the Nets, I would rather have Colin Sexton than Kyrie Irving right now because at least mentally he's more stable. No doubt about it. No
I'll
doubt about
take De'Aaron. Why don't you send Kyrie to Sacramento and bring De'Aaron Fox over to Brooklyn? That'd be probably the best deal possible right there. If they let you.
Well, the problem with De'Aaron Fox is the fact that he does not shoot the ball as well. When you're playing with players like James Harden and Kevin Durant, you need guys who can shoot the ball because they're going to break the defense down. So De'Aaron Fox is just like them in being able to handle the ball, but he can't shoot like James Harden, can't shoot like Durant, can't shoot like Kyrie Irving. So, the problem with the current big three is that they all do the same thing. They all dribble, they all shoot. James Harden would probably be the best playmaker for other people, but is Kyrie going to go along with that? Does Kevin Durant like the fact of not knowing when he's going to get his shots? Because the one fear that I have for James Harden is that James Harden is going to try to fit in because he respects KD. I think he respects Kyrie Irving. He wouldn't want to go there if he didn't respect those guys. So I think he's going to make a conscious decision to step back his game. And how will that affect the Nets? Because he's trying to take a step back so that he doesn't get in the way of KD and Kevin Durant. So that's going to be interesting.
He'll take a step back, but if they ain't scoring, if that offense stalling, trust me, he's going to start scoring.
Yeah, I can agree. All right, let's move away from good deal, bad deal for a second. And I want us to talk about this real quickly, and then we'll go into our NFL picks, and then we'll call it a day for today's show. And thank you, fans, for your comments. You all have been phenomenal, and you all are adding a whole lot to our show on today. Let's talk about this real quickly. COVID and the NBA. We're starting to see what railroaded the college football season, what caused many postponements for the NFL season is the same thing that's going on for the NBA. COVID and the NBA, there have been quite a few games. Red, we can't see you, brother.
All right.
I'm
here.
There have been many postponements of games, as Coach alluded to earlier about the Washington Wizards. Their whole week has been suspended. It seems like they're kind of going down the same track as the Miami Marlins did at the beginning of the baseball season. Do you think that we're on the road to another bubble situation in order for the NBA to be able to finish this season? That's the question.
I'm sure they would like to, but I think the players aren't going to allow it. I mean, it was a miracle to get them all to approve it last time. And even though I'm sure we would agree it would probably be the best decision, I wish the players would stop being so selfish and do what is the most healthy thing. I just don't. I mean, it was a big deal for them to be away from their families as long as they were last time. I mean, and if it's just being that it's possibly just one team right now, it's not a serious outbreak. I mean, it's just one or two teams, just like last year when the baseball had that outbreak. It was the Marlins and the Cardinals. I think maybe one more team. I think, and then once that happened, that baseball tried to strengthen or improve the protocols, just like the NBA is doing now. I think if they can get a hold on this thing and it just stays the few teams, they don't break into more teams like 5, 6, or 7 teams. If it just stays right where it is right now, one team basically, and just contract tracing for the other two, I think they're going as business as usual, but they're going to make sure these teams are being safe. They're going to make sure these new rules are being followed, and they're going to really make severe fines. They're going to stiffen these fines if things aren't being followed. But if they can keep it where it is right now and don't have anything worse happen, then they'll go on business as usual. If another team or two start the outbreak and instead of missing 5 or 6 games, we start missing 10 or 12 games, we probably gonna have to revisit this question. But as long as it doesn't get any worse than it is right now, I think they'll try to maintain the protocol, maintain the plan, and try their best to make it. But Like I say, whatever Washington doing, or so it seems like somebody don't have a party or something, but somebody doing something they shouldn't have been doing. But hopefully they'll get it under control, and we won't have another week with basically one team costing 2 or 3 teams games.
All right, Coach, I'm going to flip another question on you. And Jerome Case actually added something that was worth thinking about. He took the bubble concept to a more specific type of bubble. And I want to see if you agree with his take. NBA needs to go to conference bubbles in centralized cities and keep it moving with that. Patter, I'm not sure about that word, but into the playoffs. So in other words, he's saying should the NBA should go into centralized bubbles with basically conference bubbles. What you think about that, Coach?
If it seems like it's going to be something that will slow this thing down, I don't have a problem with it, because it's in your sport, and it had manifested itself to one team mostly, but for the Wizards, but it is manifesting itself. So I don't think they should have a problem with it. Just like last year you played in one spot, but you just find a local place. But because you don't have fans anyway, so why not? You're not letting any fans in, Hunter, so why not play in a centralized place and bubble them up again until you can get this thing under control? Because it's still there. It's festering itself big time in the NBA, so you got to put a stop to it somehow.
Well, I think the thing is, if they ever go back to a bubble, they got to stay in the bubble. It's not one of those get into the bubble for a couple of months, then once things slow down, we open it back up. Once you make that decision, you got to stay with it. And I think, honestly speaking, if this COVID situation continues on for another 2 to 3 months, then they're going to actually pull a bubble situation. The bubble worked. The reason why the bubble worked is because they did it towards the end of the season rather than the entire season or the middle of the season. Pretty much the season was over when they started the bubble. So I think they're going to try to stretch it for as long as they can. And maybe they're going to hope that these vaccines will kick in that has not been distributed well so far. But at some point, now that certain cities are allowing people to jump the vaccine line, I wouldn't be surprised if these new batches of vaccines that are supposed to be open to the public will find their way into some arms of NBA players. So yep. I can see those vaccines going to these NBA players real soon to potentially avoid the players going into it. But without the vaccines, they're going to be in the bubble. There's no way around it if they're going to finish this season.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, and don't forget them owners. They thinking about their money. The few fans they can have, they thinking about any little money they can make.
Rev.
Yes.
I was about to have some fun, but I'm going to postpone it. I'm going to not go. Because you saw what I saw, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to have any fun with that.
Now, I'm going to just say this. I'm going to just say this to kind of combat a little bit of what Red said earlier and a little bit what Amani just posted. I'm not going to say the players are being selfish. I'm not going to say that. I think it's a real thing, not wanting to be away from your family for that extended period of time. Remember, these men are grown men. Some of them have families. And we could think about LeBron. Think about having a child. We all know Bronny participated in doing some marijuana. It got, the news became real big news. And LeBron had to deal with staying in the bubble to play for a championship versus possibly going to see about his son and straighten him out. That's a tough decision to make because at the end of the day, a basketball championship is not greater than your son's future. Because if some things are not nipped in the bud right now, that time away from his son can be detrimental to his son's future. So therefore, we got to be careful saying that the guys are selfish while at the same time they are paid a great salary to do a job. And if you got to do the job in a bubble, you got to do the job in a bubble or just don't get paid.
Hey, Rev.
Yeah.
Hey, have you noticed anything? Little Bronny, he sure has been quiet since the old Bron made it home. I think Bron handled that. Bron got home and handled that. Because Bronny, I ain't heard him on IG. I ain't seen him on no video game, nothing. Bron said, boy, you better get in your books and you better get on that court and you better stay practicing and in them books. Woo, Bron don't play, boy. Bronny.
Yeah, you seeing in real time the difference what a father will do.
Yeah,
and, because we haven't heard much about Bronny doing anything, so those are the type of decisions that these guys are faced with when you displace them for such a long time away from their family. Because it's hard to be a virtual dad. It's hard. Some dads have to do it, but it's hard to be a virtual dad. The ministry of presence is so important for a child. All right. Oh, the NBA, they make millions more than the military who deploy for months and years. Players need to suck it up and bubble up. Yeah, that's easy for us to say, but just imagine, Brother Case, you were in a profession where you were displaced from your lovely wife and child. Think about it. That's pretty tough. All right. But we understand at the end of the day, they are paid to do a job and they got to make a choice. If you want the millions, you got to do what you got to do. All right, gentlemen, let's go to some NFL football. And we're going to talk a little NFL playoffs, dog. And
4:30. Okay.
It would be disingenuous of this show to talk NBA, NFL playoffs and not talk about what happened last week. So here we go, Coach. Hey, man.
It slipped.
We got fans and ladies watching, Coach. What you doing? All right.
A sight I can never get in my head.
Now, Coach.
Yes, sir.
We were ahead of the game on this show because we did raise the question if the Steelers were indeed the real deal. So we were ahead. We talked about their 11-0 start. Was it really legit? So we know that the Steelers went down in terrible fashion to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that first quarter was probably one of the worst quarters I've seen a team play football in NFL history. No hyperbole. It was almost like they said to the Browns, we still are in the Christmas spirit, and we're going to give you this game away. First play, ball goes over Roethlisberger's head. Brother Connor doesn't even try to jump on the ball. Cleveland Browns score a touchdown. Big Ben next possession throws an interception. They're down 14-0 because Steelers score again. 3 and out. Browns come back, score another touchdown, 21-0. Big Ben comes back, throws another interception. They're down 28-0, and pretty much the game is history, even though they did mount some type of a comeback way. They made it interesting, but eventually the Browns sealed the deal. So with that being said, how would you categorize the Steelers season for this past season? Was it a disappointment? Was it a solid season? Was it fool's gold, where they really weren't as good as their record had them to be early on in the season? You tell us, Coach. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers fan on this panel.
I would say of all things, overall, it was a disappointment because you start out doing what you're doing and you expect to go deep. And those things, little things, to turn into big things if you don't address them. The running game never materialized all year. Connor got out there, and then he got hurt. He couldn't come out. Then here comes Snell. He can't run. Then here come McFarland. He tried it. You kept trying to plug and play. You have nobody to pick up your running game. Therefore, teams right there said, okay, we got them now. They can't run. So all we got to do is play, put 7 defensive backs or 6 defensive backs out there, make Big Ben throw. We got them. Then the biggest thing to me that happened to him, one of the main things, when Bud Dupree went down. When Bud Dupree went down, your defense suffered a not a catastrophic hit, but one of the biggest hits of the year. Therefore, TJ Watt, you can still do a little something, but who's going to come from the other side? So therefore, we put everything on TJ. Who you got coming on the other end? Then, certain things just happened. Then they had to play, like you used the word COVID, I'm going to use the COVID. They had to play the COVID games. 4 games in 19 days, which kind of took its toll on. It didn't matter who they were playing. I don't care. They were playing Little Sister of the Worthless Miracle. They came out there against Washington, wore out, let Washington come back on. Every game they lost, they started out looking okay, and then team just came back on. They didn't recover from that loss of Dupree and not having a running game. And when you become one-dimensional, you're not gonna beat anybody. In the Cleveland game, that was what they call on early an anomaly, meaning that when the Pouncey snapped the ball over Big Ben's head, that was the start of the reality of the fall right there, because that had not happened as long as they've been playing. And when that happened, you could see bad things happen. Then, like you said, large Ben started throwing interceptions. And I don't care if you the Steelers, the 72 Dolphins, or anybody, you're not coming back from 28-0. You're not going to make it back. And therefore, the implosion went. And Cleveland wanted it more at that point. Cleveland saw that look in the Steelers' eyes saying, hey, they about to give it up. So we're going to take advantage of it. And Nick Chubb went to work. And that defense, which had been in the top 5 all year, looked absolutely normal. So, in essence, it was a disappointing season considering where you should have been as to where you ended. Very disappointing.
All right, Red. How would you categorize the Steelers season?
Over.
Really? Oh man, come on, Red. Come on, man.
All right. Seriously. I guess this disappointing more probably fool's gold, because I guess we were seeing some of the things that affected them during the season, but I guess we all thought once the playoffs started that they would sort of overcome some of these things. We saw all season long they had lack of a running game, and no running game in the playoffs pretty much doomed them. We saw all season long that Bud Dupree injury affected the defense. We thought when the playoffs started that they would overcome that. Nope, wrong again. Now, Coach mentioned COVID reasons. Now, I thought because the Browns were going through their own COVID reasons the week leading up to the game, that they would be probably more affected in the game. That's probably one of the main reasons I took the Steelers, because the Browns were dealing with some COVID issues themselves. But like you said, they come out and jump up 28-0. I guess the issues really didn't bother them that much. But the Steelers had some uncharacteristic things happen in the game. Snap, go over the man head, first play of the game. Reminds you of that Super Bowl when that happened to I think Peyton Manning, when I think they were playing Seattle.
Railroaded by Seattle, yeah.
And I think that game pretty much both of those games was similar, because once that happened, that game pretty much just imploded for the Broncos, and this game just imploded for the Steelers. They gave a valiant effort to come back, but like you say, you go down 28-0, you're gonna spend most of the energy coming back, and when you need 1 or 2 plays at the end, you're probably just not gonna have it. I give the Browns lots of credit for beating the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers didn't give it to them. The Browns took it from them. And now, where do the Steelers go from here? Personally, I mean, with 1 year left on Roethlisberger's deal, they might as well just bring him. They might as well just bring it back. They might as well bring everybody back for one more hurrah and just go one more hurrah for the last time. That way, it won't kill their salary cap. I mean, what's the point of having them salary cap issues with Big Ben if he's not even there to playing? So I'm just saying, personally, if I'm the GM, everybody coming back for one more run, last hurrah, maybe Big Ben last stand. And part of folks talking about fire Mike Tomlin. Are you crazy? Dude, no. And Mike Tomlin should be safe for the next 5 or 6 years. Are you kidding me? I don't know who you think you're going to hire. There's a better coach than Mike Tomlin, okay? He's one of the top 3 coaches in the NFL. So win or lose, Mike Tomlin is my coach until I don't know when. He might be my coach forever, but he ain't the reason they lost. So, but if I'm the Steelers, I bring it back for one more hurrah, one more run, see what we can do. Ain't no point of taking salary cap hits for players that's not even there. And I mean, especially when Roethlisberger had one more, he only had one more year left anyway, so he might as well run it back.
All right, quick take, Coach.
Yes, sir.
We need your Steelers expertise.
Uh-huh.
One, should Big Ben retire? Number 2, if he doesn't, what's your prediction on the Steelers season next year? Quick takes. Should Big Ben retire? Number 2, if he doesn't, what do you think the Steelers will do going into next season?
No, he shouldn't retire. I think he should do his last year. And next season, they got a lot of decisions they got to make as far as bringing people back. Now, they're going to have to make some tough ones, unfortunately. And some player that they might not want to have to let go may have to let go of, unfortunately. So they're going to have to get all that solved. And then they're going to have to do their usual job of drafting well. Now, they draft well regardless of what, despite everything, they draft real well because they got Claypool this year who helped out. And you got a couple other guys. They're going to have to draft well and solve that salary cap madness that they're going to be in. And
so let me ask you this, Coach, so we can get to the picks quickly, because I know you can talk to us about the Steelers all day, any day, every day long. Can the Steelers win a Super Bowl with Big Ben as their starting quarterback?
Yeah, I think they can. I mean, before his late season stuff, he was having one of his better years, 20+ touchdowns and on like 3 or 4 interceptions before this latest that meltdown. He was doing well. I think he can recover. I think he has the weaponry, and I think the defense, which wins championships, will keep him in game. I think he can, personally.
All right, Red, quick take. Do you think Big Ben can win the Steelers a Super Bowl?
Yeah, my finger wasn't for I got one more thing to say. My finger was for I think he deserved one more year. I think he can win if everything. I mean, it all got to play out right for him. But I think he give him one more chance. They can win if it all play out right for him. See, had they played the right teams, maybe if they had played another team, you would have got past the first round. Then it just all depends on who the Steelers play, and all depends on is this the game they're gonna be on point. I mean. Now, would I keep him long term? No, Roethlisberger. He's almost
talking about this season, just coming up season.
They have a chance.
I disagree. And Coach did not say what I'm about to say, but he made a point that makes me feel the way I do on why I disagree. He talked about Big Ben's season changing during the course of the season. One of the factors that caused this season to change was the weather. He might have put up numbers, but there was a huge drop-off in his play from warm weather months to colder weather months. What's not going to change in the NFL playoffs? The weather. it's going to be cold. I mean, Big Ben, he's older. Cold weather is not an older player's friend. Tom Brady made a great move. Where did he sign? In a warm weather state. Right? And it just so happened the playoffs have been kind to him, even though they had to go to Washington where it's cold, but they were the more superior team than Washington. Right? But he gets a gift to go to New Orleans where they play in a dome. So that's helping him a great deal. But Big Ben is playing in cold weather. And I mean, Big Ben was blowing, you know, and cold weather slows you down a little bit. And Big Ben doesn't need anything else to slow him down because he's already slow. So I don't think that the Steelers can really win a championship. And because Maurice Thrower said something about Big Ben will cost him $40 million, that does not bode well for the Steelers' potential of getting a better running game. Because we already know that it takes money to improve the offensive line. So you could have Barry Sanders back there, but the running game is not going to improve that great.
Not Barry.
Because Barry will get you a few yards.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
So
Barry didn't need an offensive line, real.
Well, he didn't, but he would have been even better if he had one. Let me just say it that way. But the guys, the cast of characters that they have back there, they need an offensive line.
Yeah.
And Big Ben, that kind of money is not going to bring them an offensive line.
You should have said Jerome Bettis 2.0 or something.
Yeah. And Jerome Bettis was on the team when Big Ben wasn't making big money, right? You know, he was the star of the team when Big Ben won that championship with Jerome Bettis. So I don't give the Steelers a big chance of being a Super Bowl champion next year. Will they be solid? Yes. Mike Tomlin is a solid coach. He's never had a losing season. So just because of Mike Tomlin's presence, they're going to be relevant, but I don't see a championship coming their way.
Hey,
Go
Coach.
ahead. I found a word.
Hey,
Let me
Coach,
ask you.
what was your feelings back when that Super Bowl year with Jerome Bettis? What were you thinking when he had that big fumble against Indianapolis and your season got saved because Roethlisberger made that tackle? I know you remember that play. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah.
What was you thinking right there, boy?
I was about to say it's about to be a disaster.
It was just like that guy, the Giants, Joe Pisarcik, when he fumbled, they had the game just wrapped up. You down, you ready to shut away, and then he fumbled, and that's just ironic. That play told you right there that the Steelers were going to the Super Bowl if Ben could go catch him and tackle him.
Yeah,
that was like a shoestring tackle, wasn't it?
Yeah. Coach, go with your question.
Maurice Thrower said something that I want to address real quick. I ain't gonna spend too long time talking about Juju fired up the Browns with his quotes and everything. I just want to that point, I say this. Cleveland, this is your first time in the playoffs, and God knows when. If they needed a quote to fire them up, something was very wrong with Cleveland. If they needed that, they think that was the reason they played well. And Juju, to his credit, 12 catches, 159 yards in that game against Cleveland. You know, some of them might have been garbage, but he still balled out touchdown. So, you know, I don't think you use that kind of stuff as inspiration. You got somebody quote and say something that's got to fire you up. If you wasn't fired up before the game and you needed a Juju quote to fire you up, really? Your first playoff game in 20 years?
Well, I will say this as we close this section of the show. Different players use different things to motivate them. And we know, say, for instance, somebody like Michael Jordan, you know, who many consider to be the GOAT. Michael Jordan used lies to fire him up because everybody talks about how somebody lied on LeBradford Smith and said LeBradford Smith said something when he balled out against Michael Jordan again when LeBradford Smith played for the Wizards. And then Michael Jordan took that lie. And matter of fact, Michael Jordan was the one who created the lie. just to kill LeBradford Smith because LeBradford Smith had a good game against him the previous game. So different players have different motivations on what gets them motivated. Just like we saw the Cowboys got motivated off of a stupid watermelon scene early this season. So, they're different strokes for different folks. All right, gentlemen, we've had some good talk. It's now time to start bringing this thing to an end. So we need to make our NFL picks for this week, fans. You all definitely are able to share with us in our picks for this week. And we're going to go and show you where we are now. I think I do have that for us, the NFL picks. And before we get into the picks, we need to let everybody know where we stand. All right. And that wasn't the way I wanted to do it. Let me do it correctly this time. All right. All right. Bam. There we go. NFL picks. That's where we are. And we want to get our records real quickly. And Red, last week, you went 3-3. Got the Bills, the Ravens, and made a mistake. You got the Saints too, I believe. My bad, Red. You got the Saints to take your record to 95, 68, and 1. That would put you in last place. I told you I was coming, Vincent. Getting a dose of why Rev is the main champion on this show. I set out a goal, and I reached my goal. But I haven't finised the deal yet.
No,
Rev,
so
I haven't.
You still got
I'm in the driver's seat. 4-2. I went 4-2. Won the Bills, Bucks, Ravens, and Saints. I'm a game ahead of Red. And Coach had a bad week, 2-4. Won the Bills and the Saints, but he is still comfortably ahead. And this is why this week it is official. Coach has won another COVID championship.
I don't understand the COVID talk.
There he is, the COVID champ.
Wait a minute, the COVID talk. I'm the champ. I'm the greatest. But COVID is into this thing again. Darn you, COVID, darn you. Take that word out of there.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID champ.
Well, I'll tell you, we got a lot of COVID champs this week. We got Dodgers and the Lakers and the Roll Tide, and we got Coach twice. All the COVID champions this year. 2 LA teams, 2 coaches, picks, and we got the Bama's.
Oh, boy. COVID champ. What's up, man? You want to give your acceptance speech for your COVID champ?
I won. I'm glad I won. I'm a double champion. That says a lot. I don't understand that word COVID, but it's kind of like this picture I just found. You calling me the COVID champ looks kind of like this right here, and I'm gonna show it to you, and I want you to read it.
This is how the game ball is going to look at Kyrie in Harden's first game.
That's how my championship trophy like is going to look, stained with COVID all over it and everything, because the word COVID just keeps coming in. I won 2 championships. I said I was going to win a championship sometime on this show, and I won, and the COVID is tainted. Well, to the Lakers, the Dodgers, Major League Soccer, all y'all COVID right along with me. We're going to use it with all Alabama, all us COVID champs. And I'm done.
All right.
Wait a minute, man. Well, how did Lakers get in this, coach?
Because they won in the bubble. Everybody in there. Red, me and you, we gonna have a discussion about this COVID talk. That's all right.
Well, let me just say this. Anybody who doubts the Bible, coach has made the Bible once again true. The last shall be first. And Red and coach is living proof that the Bible is right. He was the last person on this panel to win a championship.
Read what your mom said.
He got double for his trouble. All
Read
right.
what your mom said.
Congratulations, coach. A championship is a championship. No doubt.
Thank you, Mrs. Harris.
Yeah. Hey,
Coach.
I take the Falcons a Hawks championship right now in this COVID era.
Now, with this being said, there is now officially one person on this panel who is not a double champion.
Me.
That would be Red.
Okay.
There is one person on this panel who has not won 2 championships the same year.
Yo, well, that might be tough. I can get another.
Can we are Red Road? So, Red, coach has raised the stake, even though they're COVID championships. He's raised the stake.
Not the COVID again.
And now, Red, you are 1 championship behind coach and four championships behind me.
I got to come with some fire next season. I can't take too many chances. I got to take a lot of safe picks next year.
So coach is a 2-time champ, 1 for college, 1 for pro. You're a pro champ. You got 1 pro champ, Red, and I got 3 colleges and 1.
Oh, wait a minute. Should coaches 2 COVID championships even equal a whole championship since they are COVID?
Keep shots keep coming, ladies and gentlemen. They just keep coming. I don't understand the
I didn't have the luxury of having a COVID championship. I had to live mine in the regular season. Well, that was a lot harder now.
The controversy.
Maurice, throw flags on me, man. What, you a referee now, Maurice? Goodness gracious, man. Throwing flags on me.
We're going to see you back to Florida, Maurice, instead of throwing flags on people.
He threw a flag on the play on me, man. All right, gentlemen, let's get right into it, man. Let's make these picks, and then we'll call our show. Man, we've been just chilling, man. We've had a good time. So let's end it with some more of a good time. If I can get this internet to be kind to me, we can make this thing happen. All right, gentlemen. Here we go. We got 4 games on the docket. We're going to start with the Rams versus the Packers. First Saturday game on today. We'll start with Coach, the COVID champ. What you got? Rams versus Packers.
Packers. I don't have to debate this one. Jared Goff is not a winner. He won't go anywhere. Packers. Aaron Rodgers on a mission.
All right, Red. Who you rolling with, Rams or the Packers?
You know who I'm rolling with. I concur with everything Coach said. Aaron Donald's not 100%. That's going to affect them. Can't wait to see the matchup between Ramsey and Devontae Parker. But this is Ski all day. He going for that 3rd MVP, and he ain't going to let no Rams stand in his way.
All right, I'm going to make it unanimous. I'm going with the Packers as well. For we know that Aaron Rodgers is on a mission, and there's a good chance he might mess around and win his 2nd Super Bowl title. Red, it's on you, man. Ravens versus the Bills.
Yeah, I knew you'd make me pick first on this one. I knew you would.
Well, I'm going in the order of the games. So there were no shenanigans, at least this week.
This is the best game of the week right here. I mean, if I got any chance of not paying for Longhorn, I need to make a good pick with this one.
Put Longhorns on your spirit and paying for it.
On the spirit.
Yeah, I might as well. Man, against my better judgment, I'm going with the home team, Bills.
All right. And I'm actually going with the Bills with you. I love Josh Allen. I think they're the only team that could possibly beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm not just going with you just to stay a game ahead of you, which could be my strategy, but that's not my strategy. I'm definitely going with the Bills because I think the Bills are just simply the better team. So sign me up for the Bills. Coach, are you making it unanimous or are you going with your team's bitter rival, the Ravens?
Yeah, they giving the Ravens a good shot, but like you said, it's cold in Buffalo. I'm going with the Bills.
All right. So we're all unanimous decision so far. First game. Let me not leave out the fans real quickly.
Had you picked first, I probably would have went Baltimore had you picked first.
I'm sure you would have, but I'm gonna pick first on this next one, and you can feel free to jump out there in left field on this next one.
I already know a game you better pick. No,
feel free to jump out this next one, man. This is your game right here to do it. Show us your guts, Red. All right, next game. My Kansas City Chiefs again. The Cleveland Browns, and once again, it's in the order in which the games will be played. So nobody can accuse me for doing any shenanigans, at least for this week. All right, I'm going with my Chiefs, no doubt about it. Patrick Mahomes has a big game. Baker Mayfield, he got his glory last week. That glory won't transfer into this week. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs. Coach, who you got?
You got a motivated Browns team who showed that they can stop the run. But until Patrick Mahomes and the U.S. Olympic track team gets an injury, you got to go with the Chiefs. And then Travis Kelce, who's the shot put thrower, he's out there going after stuff too. So the U.S. Olympic team will win another one at home.
All right, now Red, think wisely now. Because I want you to understand, I'm helping you try to save some money for at least this week. I have a this week spirit. All right. You're down one game to me. We know the loser, last place, first place for Longhorns, for NFL. You're already down one game. You pick the Browns and they lose. You'll be down 2 games with only 3 games left to play. So I want you to make a wise decision. Go ahead. Who's your pick?
Oh, I'm making a wise decision. Cleveland won their Super Bowl last week. It's over for them. It's definitely gonna be it. Mahomes ain't getting put out the first round. He ain't the Steelers now. They gonna win at least one game in the playoffs now, too. So this is the Kansas City, man. You know this. Kansas City finna destroy the Browns. I don't care if the Browns get up 14-0. If they go down 14-0, you better believe it's over. If they go up 14-0, it's still over, man. Kansas City ain't gonna lose. Not this week anyway.
All right. Last game. It's on the COVID champ. Brother CC, COVID champ. That's what we'll call you for the rest of the year. Brother CC. All right.
Why not call me PC?
What's that?
Pork chops that I'm eating at Longhorn.
Well, you won't be paying for it, that's for sure.
I know.
All right. Who you got, Coach? Bucks or the Saints?
It's time. It's the battle of 40-year-olds and Drew Brees at home, and I think the Saints going to allow some fans in there. So Tom Brady, I think the party ends. Kamara is going to run wild, and I don't know if Ronald Jones is going to be able to play. So I'm going to go with the Saints.
All right, Red. All eyes on you. Bucks versus Saints. Tom Brady already lost to him twice, but they do say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. So who you going with?
Not the Saints. Bucks gonna make it. They gonna make it to Green Bay just to lose in the cold, but they gonna make it to Green Bay. I'm picking the Bucks. I ain't going with the Saints 2 weeks in a row. I ain't finna get them the credit saying they gonna beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Brady want it. Brady, you better believe Brady want this game. He might want this game better than he want next week game versus Aaron Rodgers, and he gonna get it Tom Brady, it ain't gonna be cold inside that dome. It's gonna be perfect weather for him to do his thing. All he needs that defense to show up and that running game to give him a little something, and it's gonna be on. Bucks over the Stanks. The Stank season's in this week, and we find Falcons meet their new GM next week.
Man, this is tough for me. Not only because of only being one game up on Red, but it's also tough for me because with the Saints win, that moves them one game closer to winning potentially another Super Bowl. So that's where my Falcons fan comes in. What little I have left. Joe Black said the Bucks are going to win because the Falcon GM needs to get to work. And they'll be hiring a guy who's in part of the Saints organization. But I'm going to go with the Saints, man. I'm going with the Saints. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm going to play it based upon who I believe is going to win. And I have paid attention to the season that Tom Brady has had this year. There've been a couple of firsts for Tom Brady. He hadn't thrown that many interceptions in a long time. Has been a first in a while. He hadn't gotten beaten by a team in his division twice. He did that this year against the Saints. And I think he's going to be beaten for the third time by the Saints because the Saints feast off of quarterbacks who are not mobile. Quarterbacks that are statues. This is why the Saints feasted off Matt Ryan twice, feasted off Tom Brady twice, and will feast off against Tom Brady again for the third time. And basically, I'll be one step closer to Red footing the bill at Longhorns.
This might cinch it right here. So this game might turn it real well thought. A game between two 40-year-olds is going to determine who's going to be paying for Longhorn, man.
And two of our rival teams.
Exactly. Two of our rival teams right here. It's going to be a good week. It's going to be a
all right, gentlemen, let's end the show. You have the right to do what, when, where, and how. Who wants at it first?
I'll go. The Braves. Y'all have a right to stop fooling around. Go ahead and bring Marcell Ozuna back. It's sad that he's sitting out there this long in free agency. Obviously, he fits well with this team. We're on the cusp of a championship. Stop being cheap, okay? Like you're doing with Soroka and Swanson. That's why they go into arbitration on your butt because they ain't trying to let you cheat them out of the money they earn. I'm surprised they got the deal with Max Fried worked out. But Braves, stop being cheap. You have a right to sign Marcell Ozuna. Get the pieces you need. Let's go for another World Series run. I'm so sick of y'all trying to be a great team, but being cheap at the same time. I'm sick of it. Sorry.
All right. Coach has the right to do what, when, where, and how.
I would say North Carolina basketball, you have the right to start bringing yourself back to prominence in college basketball. You've been kind of quiet, 10-4, but right now you usually up there near the top of the rankings and you're not even hardly ranked. So North Carolina basketball, start your climb back toward the top since Dukes doesn't seem to want it.
All right, and I never thought I would say this as a part of the show, but the New Orleans Saints, you have the right to take care of Tom Brady. So I can be 2 games up on Red, so I can save some more money and eat very good off of Red's money yet another year. So the Saints have a right to win tomorrow. All right.
Man, I'm glad I'm single, man. Y'all be making my girlfriend jealous. All this eating y'all doing off my dime, man.
Well, you the one who allowed it to happen with your picks.
So hey, real. Either way they go, I'll be in the hot seat. She be like, "Red, you allowed it to happen." So
exactly, man. All right, gentlemen, we're grateful to have yet another show. Thank Thankful for virtual space that allows us to have a show even when we're not all in person. We want everybody to have a great week. Let me get this one. You have the right. Somebody had a you have the right real quickly. Vincent Woodruff said Kyrie has a right to commit himself to a mental health facility. Bro needs help, no doubt about it. And Alexis Hill said, I agree with that, Red, about the Braves. All right, everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Red Rev Sports Show. Not only did y'all tune in, y'all showed out, y'all helped participate to make this show what it was. So thank you, man. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, sisters. And feel free to tell somebody about the Red Rev Sports Show. Hit the share button, let somebody else get some Red Rev Sports Show love. We'll be back same time next week on the same Facebook page, same YouTube channel, same Periscope channel. And we're out, everybody.